I'm Eileen Roach, co-founder of Designs and Machine Embroidery, and thank you for joining us today for the scoop on In the Hoop. In today's 90-minute virtual class, you are going to learn how to make beautiful In the Hoop projects. Reen Wilcoxon, the founder of the Embroidery Garden, is going to be sharing all of her tips and tricks so that you can have success with your In the Hoop projects. You'll also learn how to customize any in the hoop embroidery design to really make it yours. You'll also learn how to insert a zipper in with an embroidery machine. Oh, I find that just amazing. And you'll see how you can turn regular quilting cotton into a non-fray fabric to create a beautiful decorative outer panel on a in the hoop bag. In addition to that, you're going to learn Reen's tips and tricks and a few tips and tricks from Dime also. So I hope you enjoy today's class, The Scoop on In the Hoop.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ashley Jones from Designs and Machine Embroidery, and welcome to our virtual event, The Scoop on In the Hoop. As Eileen said, we've got lots of information to share on doing In the Hoop projects. So where do these designs come from? Can I create my own designs? And exactly how they work. So we're going to be seeing all of that in the presentation today. But you guys would not be here if it weren't for our friends at AccuQuilt. So I want to give a big shout out to AccuQuilt for hosting this event today. And I would love to welcome my friend Erica Botker. Hey, Erica.
Hey
and
there.
Erica is AccuQuilt's creativity expert. Thank you so much, Erica, for being here with me today. How are you?
Good. How are you, Ashley?
I'm good. I'm excited to share this topic with all of your fans and followers. You guys know we're Designs and Machine Embroidery, so we talk everything embroidery.
Right.
But Erica, I love how our two companies have really partnered and collaborated in quite a few things because our products work really well together. Your blocks that you make from your AccuQuilt cutter can be incorporated into a ton of different embroidery projects, right?
That's right. And really, I love this partnership so much. Every time I'm part of one of your events, and even if I'm watching, I always learn something from you. Hopefully you learn something from me every once in a while.
Absolutely, I do.
With our dies to perfectly cut your shapes, it makes machine embroidery and applique so fun. And it gives you such a great professional result because you don't have all that tedious trimming, right?
Right.
That can really, and it frays and this and that. It's so easy with AccuQuilt to do the hard work of cutting for you.
I totally agree. And just in case, Erica, we've got some fans and followers out there that maybe are not 100% sure what AccuQuilt can do for them. Tell us exactly what AccuQuilt can do for us.
You know what? AccuQuilt's going to revolutionize the way you quilt. So Ashley may have to cut me off because I get so excited when I get going. But AccuQuilt is all about making quilts. It's all about quilters. It is a fabric die cutting system that's designed for quilters. And whether you're making quilts with it or crafts with it, there are so many applications, but we started at the base of it all is making quilting easier, more precise, and just plain more fun.
Yeah.
So our system all revolves around our dies. And if you're not at all familiar with our products, this is what our dies look like. And there are blades, very, very sharp blades, I might add, inside here. They're surrounded by foam. You put your fabric on top. You cover it with a cutting mat, a specific cutting mat, not just any rotary mat, and put it through one of our 3 cutters. We have 3 to choose from. And then you get magical, perfect cuts in seconds. We take the dog ears off the sides for you on those geometric shapes. We factor in your 1/4-inch seam allowance for piecing shapes. And it's just nothing short of magical.
I love that. I love that.
So,
Everybody that's already here and in the chat, give a shout out if you love your AccuQuilt
yes,
cutting system. So, because I definitely agree with you, Erica. It makes it so much easier. You get perfect cuts for sure. And I do love to quilt, but I do so many other things that sometimes I don't necessarily have the time to make a full quilt, but I
right.
love incorporating just one block into some of my projects. And I'm going to share that with them today for
Oh,
sure. So,
fantastic. Yeah,
yeah.
because we've got all different
Yeah.
kinds of dies too. You
Yeah.
can piece. We have got our cube system that gives you all your basic quilting shapes in sizes from 4-inch finish blocks on up. We've got block on board dies that give you
Yeah.
all the pieces for just that one special block on one die board.
Yeah. Love that.
And we've got, so there's all kinds of things you can do. So
I
if you
love
just
that.
want to piece blocks, here's some, I pulled bigger ones. I think Ashley's got some big and tiny ones,
Yeah.
but here are big ones so you can see them better. Super
Love that.
easy. And Ashley
Beautiful.
knows how all kinds of magic to piece those in your hoop.
Right. Yep. Yep.
We've got some new block on board dies. I don't know if you've even seen these.
Whoa.
Block on board. This is our new arrowhead. This is our magnolia bud,
Love that.
which I always
Beautiful.
seem to say with a southern accent, and I can't stop myself.
You
But
have to. Sweet
this is our
magnolia.
magnolia bud. And again, these are put together so that all the pieces are on one die board for you. And then here's our new die to try.
Ooh.
This is the Go Pine Burr.
Ooh,
Isn't
that's
this fun?
beautiful. Yes. I
So,
love that.
you know, a lot of quilters, actually, you mentioned time, and a lot of
Yeah.
quilters would say, oh man, I love that pine burr, but there is no way I've got the time to cut all
Absolutely.
those tiny
All those
little triangles.
pieces.
You know
Yeah.
what? You're going to do it in seconds. So
Absolutely.
Ashley loves our big catchphrase of cut time, quilt
I
more.
do.
So that's
I
what we do.
do.
That's
I
what we
do.
do.
I love that. Cut time so you can quilt more. And I think that's the case too. Cut time so you can sew more, embroider more. And so,
Yes,
yeah, I love that, Erica.
exactly.
And just in case too, you guys have more than just your die systems now. You guys are growing exponentially and offer a few other
We
things. So
do.
tell us quickly a couple of the other things that you guys have to offer there at AccuQuilt.
Well, over a year ago, we joined forces with June Taylor Products, which was so exciting for us because they offer such a wide variety of great tools for quilting and for sewing and crafting. And one of the most exciting ones was their Quilt As You Go kits,
Yeah.
because you can make things like these bags. And here we were talking about cutting different materials. There's cork on this bag.
Oh, I love
And
that.
it was cut with a 2.5-inch strip die. So all of these pieces were cut with a 2.5-inch strip die on a go cutter. And then it's a Quilt As You Go so that you're done. When you're done, you're done. You know,
Yeah,
you don't have to
very
worry
cool.
about that long arm process.
Yeah,
Well, there's
I
such
love
a great variety of those projects. And here's another one. They have these hanging towels
so
that are
cute.
kits, and they come with the toweling and the printed batting. But then look what you can do. Here's our cat from our cat and bat die that we've
Love it.
appliqued onto the bottom of it. Isn't that adorable?
That is adorable. I'm thinking that, gifts already. So that's a great
Right.
gift idea.
And in fact, this was so popular, we also came out with a die to cut the top part of the hanging towel. So there's the towel topper, and it'll coordinate with all of it. So
Oh, I love
really,
it.
we can take you from beginning to end, as my friend Jill would say, soup
I
to
love
nuts, with
I
so
love
many different things. And you know what? Then we join forces with our friends at Arrow Furniture. And
Wow.
Arrow provides wonderful, comfortable, ergonomically great furniture for your sewing room. For your
I love
sewing room, your quilting room, your crafting room. They've
Yeah.
got great storage solutions. Their chairs are nothing short of fantastic.
I love that. Like you said, full circle. I really love
Yep.
that because we do need good furniture too as well. So,
But
well,
all
that
of us
is
come together
yeah.
under making sewing easier more
Yep.
comfortable,
Yep.
more available for everybody to do.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I couldn't said it better, Erica. So, well, Erica, I think it's time to get started with our In the Hoop class here. And so if it's okay with you, I will let you step out and we'll kind of get going with our topic. And so I wanted to just say thanks again for AccuQuilt for hosting and sharing all of their fans and followers with us so we can share our love of embroidery. So does that sound good?
That sounds fantastic. I'm going to go get my notebook and take notes because I want to learn about these projects in the hoop as well. Thanks
Sounds
so much.
great.
And we
Yeah.
are so happy to be partnering with you all.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And so, guys, before we do get started, let me introduce you to one more person because I bet you already see her name over in the chat, and that's our very own Tammy Madden. So, hey, Tammy, how's it going?
It is going busy over here. Actually, we have over 400 people watching, and so that means my
Yay!
chat is very busy. So I do want to just put a little bit of information. I'm going to be over here with you guys for the next 90 minutes. If you want to ask a question, maybe put a little question marks in front of it so I can pull that out because I love to see where you guys are viewing from, and that is great. And there's some friends over here talking, so I just want to make sure that I get your questions answered. So, if I don't get to it, repeat it because I might not have seen it too because my
Absolutely.
chat goes pretty quick. But I will be here for the next time. Yes, and then Ashley, we'll get together a few times throughout the presentation so I could bring you some of those questions.
Yes, absolutely. We love to answer them live. And I do want to tell everybody before we get started too, because I see we have lots of people commenting from YouTube. If you are watching over on YouTube and commenting, that chat is not monitored. Please join us at the link that our team member is putting in the YouTube chat. The link that you want to be at ends in AccuQuilt. And so make sure that you are on that page. So if you are in YouTube or you're watching on YouTube, you will not be able to take advantage of the live chat. And we also have specially priced items to share with you. So please join us at the link that ends in AccuQuilt. You still have time to get over there, click over there, and then just press the play button and you'll be right here live. So make sure you join us over on our event page that ends in AccuQuilt. We are not actively viewing the chat on YouTube. So our chat is on the page that ends in AccuQuilt. So please join us over there on that page. So, all right, Tammy, and I'll remind them of that again at partway through the event because I know this is a little bit different from what they're used to on AccuQuilt. So we'll certainly mention that again. So if you're ready, I think we should go ahead and get started.
Sounds great.
All right. Thank you, Tammy. All right, guys. So let's get started with our scoop on In the Hoop. And so let's first talk about what In the Hoop projects are. Now, what we're talking about today is all done with your embroidery machine. So we have partnered here with AccuQuilt. They're hosting the event, but we're actually talking about embroidery today and using your embroidery machine to create projects that are stitched in the hoop. So we're talking about things that look like a sewing project, but our embroidery machine has a specially created embroidery design that will put together things like you see here in this picture, zipper bags. But there's so many other things that you can make as well in your embroidery hoop. You can do some functional accessories like organizers, little gift bags, trays, key fobs. You can also do home deck items, mug rugs, trivets, coasters. You can also do quilt blocks in the hoop, which work really well with the AccuQuilt cutting system. And you can do little toys, little games. There's just so many different things that you can do. And you can customize them as well. So like Erica said, some of their applique embroidery designs that they have matching dies for, you could merge those in and really embellish or personalize your In the Hoop projects. Now, here's some other examples. Now, In the Hoop designs vary in complexity from extremely simple, like this cute little tree ornament, to more complex, like bags and purses, and even inserting zippers. But regardless of what you're doing, none of them are difficult. It just requires maybe more steps. Now, there are various ways to finish In the Hoop projects as well. Sometimes we're just layering pieces together and we have either a run stitch that stitches it all together or satin stitches that make beautiful edges. You can also do projects where we're putting right sides together and we're turning them inside out to make a nice finished edge. We'll leave an opening or an envelope back to usually do this. And some projects require separate hoopings and then one final hooping to assemble all of the pieces. But most everything that we're talking about today is going to be done all in one hooping. Now, you can use a ton of different materials, and Erica even told us too today that our AccuQuilt cutting system will cut anything that your scissors will cut. So certainly if you want to incorporate these materials into your In the Hoop project and you've got a AccuQuilt shape that would help you, you certainly can use it. But you can do In the Hoop projects out of faux leather, out of cork, out of your quilting cotton, even that clear vinyl you see there. And look at the candy wrapper bags, especially in the holidays. We've got some really cute candy wrapper bags. Now, things to consider when you're choosing your different fabric types. It might be influenced by the project itself or the design itself. So if you're doing something that is a run stitch or a blanket stitch edge, you might want to use a non-fraying fabric like cork or a faux leather. Might be really good for a run stitch edge project. If you are working with a fabric that has a directional nap, then you want to make sure you pay attention to which direction your print or your nap is going whenever you're placing that in your In the Hoop project. So, but you certainly can use all of your favorite fabrics in your In the Hoop projects. Now, quilting cotton, which I bet you guys have a ton of, can be used in pretty much everything I'm talking about today. If you want to add a little rigidity, maybe you want to prep it with some sort of fusible interfacing to give it a little more body, but then that will act as one piece of fabric in your In the Hoop project. So, okay, so here's some examples of some things that we're going to see a little bit more today. So this cute little pin cushion with this layered flower to hold your clips, this USB organizer, all done in the hoop. Gift bags are another great In the Hoop example. These cute little trays. I use these all over my sewing room for my clips, for my pins, for my sewing notions. You can even make things like these cute little fabric baskets and In the Hoop gift tags as well. So there's just so many different things that you can do in the Hoop projects. It can even put zippers into bags for you, like you see down there in the bottom left. And we're going to see more about that a little bit later. So let me head under my camera and I'll show you some things that I've created and talk about where some of these designs come from. Okay, so here are some examples. I always love to sew at this because I think this is all our common thread, right? It's these are organization options for your sewing room. So here I took a watch band in the hoop and I added this flower from the pin cushion that you saw in the example to make a wristlet holder for my clip. So I can put this on my wrist and whenever I'm sewing, I can have my clips easily at my disposal. So this again was made with a watch band design that I adapted for this flower. So you can customize things as well. So look at these zipper bags here. So these are completely done in the hoop. They are completely lined. And in this one, you can see that we worked with this mesh so that we can see what's in our bag. Here, this is a little zipper case, again, fully lined for storing your scissors. That also makes it really easy to maybe hang somewhere for easy access. And this cute little USB storage here, but I also usually put some needles and some of my cords and even a pin. And I use this to throw in my sewing kit for when I'm traveling and doing things. So all three of these designs are from Embroidery Gardens. Embroidery Gardens, we have some of their designs here today, and it all comes with instructions for how to do this, but we're going to talk about some more details on that a little bit later. So here's another really great example of an embroidery gardens design. This in the hoop fabric basket. Your embroidery machine actually stitches all of this, and it's a great functional item. Now you can create your own designs. If you have embroidery software, I created this in the hoop gift tag just to go on a little jar in conjunction with this little gift basket for a great little gift idea. You can also do, speaking of gifts, in the hoop little gift bags. So these are called charm bags, and it's from our Stitch Swag collections. This comes in a variety of different sizes, and they have different little decorations on the front, which you could certainly leave off for a plain bag if you wanted. You can also make things like in the hoop notebook covers. This is another one of our Stitch Swag collection. It has 5 different notebook options, and you can use these for great little gift ideas as well. Use some of that non-fraying fabric is great for that. So that is from that Stitch Swag collection called Snazzy Snap Covers. That's a trendy little name there. Look at these little bags. So these are fancy mini totes. This is also a Stitch Swag collection. This even has some a little bag that looks like a shopping tote and a bag that looks like a purse. And these are great sizes for the American Girl dolls. So if you're making any of those gifts for the holiday season, you can certainly use those to make a really a little princess happy. And what about watch bands? So I love to still wear a watch. So the fashion watch bands from the Stitch Swag collection, look at these. These are all made in the embroidery hoop. It stitches the beautiful design, and then you'll just add the snaps and your watch face. You can do a traditional band or even a wide band. Now, this collection is what I used. Instead of putting a watch face on it, I put those flowers on top to hold my clips. So those are great for your sewing friends. So make sure that you take advantage of some of these. Now, you can purchase design collections, or you might even be able to create some of these in your embroidery machine, or if you have software. And we're going to see some more tips and tricks along the way. So this is another great gift idea. This is called the Essential Smart Wallet. Now, the sizes are listed on the back, so you'll see that detail whenever you click the View Product button. And there's also a universal size, even if it doesn't list your phone option there. But these are little wallets that have a spot for your card. It tells you how to attach the phone case, and so your phone goes right in there. And you can put your most used cards there, and there's a cutout for the camera. And you can even add a wristlet if you want, and use it with a variety of different types of fabrics. Now, not only that, but you can make very simplistic things, like this is a little key fob holder here, and I use this to make this cute little cell phone holder here, just a little wristlet. So that one's a very simple one where you just slide your phone in there. How about keychains that are personalized with a name? That's a really great gift. I mean, it doesn't get more personal than that, right? And look at these zipper bags. We're going to see more on these zipper bags today, but you can do a variety of different sizes of zipper bags, all done in the hoop. So you can see here, I've got square, I've got rectangle, and look at this one. I even used my block for the fabric here, and I cut that block out with my AccuQuilt cutter, pieced it together, and then used it in my In the Hoop project. So another thing I love to make that's easy, because all you need is 2 squares, are these snap trays. So my embroidery machine stitched the outside square, and I placed down my fabric, and it stitched my 2 layers together, both cork. And then I have just an inside square that just makes the shape. So when I add my snaps, it folds perfectly. So I love making these trays here as well. And I even used my one of my blocks that made this same type of material and use that to make this fun little tray. So, and again, it just snaps. This was all my quilting cotton, but I use these a ton to organize my sewing room. So the zipper bags are from Embroidery Gardens. And then I actually just made this tray as a square in my embroidery software, and I can show you exactly how that was all created. So another fun little thing to make, like Erica said, towel toppers. Look at this cute little towel topper here. This has a little piece of elastic on the back that is sewn right into the finishing stitch so that I can just tuck a towel underneath so I can switch my towel out. And I've got one that I used here with a buttonhole so I can just slip a ribbon through it as well. But isn't that cute? And we'll see exactly how those were created. So what I'm showing you today is a combination of Embroidery Gardens designs that you can make on your own, or Stitch Swag design collections. So that's where all of our designs came from that we're talking about today. So we're going to see a variety of each of those. Now, if you've never done In the Hoop, we do have a free design for you for joining and attending the event. And that's this cute little zipper pouch. It is fully lined and it has all of the instructions so that you can stitch this in the hoop. So I'll show you how to get that here coming up in just a second. Okay, so today we're going to talk about how these In the Hoop projects are created. Again, we're going to talk about the designs that you can actually purchase, but we're also going to talk about how you can create your own designs as well. So we'll see that throughout the presentation. We're going to talk about stabilizer to use, tips, tricks, and working with these different fabrics, what stabilizer, what zippers, what needles, all of that coming up. Okay, so today's presentation is a collaboration between Reen Wilcoxon of Embroidery Gardens, because she is the In the Hoop design expert. So we've teamed with her to bring you some of her design collections. And you guys know us here at Dime, we have all of the tools that make embroidery easier. So let's hear this special message from Reen Wilcoxon of Embroidery Gardens.
Hi, everyone. I am so excited to be part of this In the Hoop event with Designs and Machine Embroidery. I've been designing and stitching In the Hoop projects for almost 2 decades. I love how you can create a dimensional project right in the hoop of your embroidery machine, like a purse, a bag, or a wallet, and get consistent results. Dime is a leader and innovator in our industry, and I've been happy to collaborate with Eileen and her staff on several projects. I have 2 floral collections out with Dime. One is a garden flower lace set, and the other is a hand-sketched raw edge applique set. Both are just stunning. More recently, we've developed my In the Hoop press pads. You'll learn more about those a little bit later on in this presentation. A few other items that I love to use from Dime when I'm stitching In the Hoop projects include their exquisite no-show cutaway stabilizer, which I use a lot of, the totally tubular pressing station, which I like to use to press my finished bags to add a bit of dimension to them. And more recently, I've been using their Sew Any Shape foam to add structure and stability to some of my bags. So thanks for joining us at this event today.
So thanks for that special message from Reen. So she has so many designs that are perfect in the hoop project. So we wanted to share those with you, and we'll be talking about them a little bit later. So you guys will be watching in this main viewing window, and that's where I'll be throughout this rest of this presentation. You can chat with Tammy over to the right, and you can also take advantage of specially priced products today, thanks to AccuQuilt for hosting. And you can rewatch this presentation for the next 48 hours. So if you joined late, or if you want to rewatch because you feel like it went really fast, save your original link and you can watch the event as many times as you like between now and Sunday evening. So make sure you keep that link handy so you can get back here. Okay, so all of the items that we have that we're talking about today, we do have a lot of them on special. So if you see me talking about something and you would like to own it, then check below the video. It should be in the shopping area. So these items are specially priced for the event. If you want to read more about them, you can click the view product button and see a description of that item. And then once you've read it, if it looks like something that would be helpful or you think you might want to make that, you can certainly add it to your cart. And then it'll pop out from the side that it's added to your cart. Now, add as many things as you like. And once you're all done shopping, you'll click the checkout button. When you click the checkout button, you'll see this page here pop up. Now, this is very important. If you like savings, pay attention right here. So click that show order summary after you click checkout. Show order summary will show the items in your shopping cart and it will reveal a location to enter a discount code. So not only is everything on special for the event, but if you enter your discount codes, you'll get additional savings off of your entire purchase. The first one is memory ship. If you enter memory ship and you have spent over $150, you will get free shipping to any U.S. address. So if you spend $150, enter memory ship. It'll get you free shipping to any U.S. address. If you spend over $250, make sure you enter memory ship to get your free shipping, but you want to enter memory 10 to get 10% off of your entire purchase. Memory 10 gets you 10% off of your entire purchase if you spend over $250. So enter the first code, click the apply or the arrow, and then enter that second code there. Nothing is excluded. Everything we have here today is eligible for these two discount codes as long as you meet those thresholds. Okay, so if you're new to In the Hoop, where do you start? Well, I recommend starting simple. So something that maybe is easy to envision, that maybe is stitched flat so that you understand how the process works. So coasters, key fobs, mug rugs are all really great examples. And even that towel topper that I mentioned, because it is just flat and it's stitched very similar to an applique. Or a simple zipper bag, which is your free design. So your free embroidery design is at the bottom of the shopping cart. If you scroll all the way down, you'll have to click the next page button probably a couple of times. The free design is the very last thing in the shopping area. Add it to your cart, even at $0, even if it's the only thing in your cart. When you check out, it'll be sent to you via email. So make sure you take advantage of your free design, and that is going to get you started with In the Hoop and using a zipper, and it's really easy to do. So it comes in all stitch formats, so no matter what embroidery machine type that you have, you can use this free design. So this cute little round pouch is very easy to create. So take a look here and let's watch it, how it's going to stitch out. Okay, so this In the Hoop little round zipper bag is really simple to do. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to hoop the no-show stabilizer. So then you're going to put it on the machine and stitch the zipper placement marks. That lets you know where to place your zipper, and you're going to use a piece of tape to hold that into position. Back at the machine, it tacks down the zipper, and now you're ready to start adding your fabric. Okay, so I need to add my lining fabric to the back of the hoop, tape it in place to hold it, and then I'm going to add my exterior fabric in the front of the hoop. And you can see here that we're right sides facing down, overlapping the zipper. It stitches the seam for my zipper, and then I'm going to fold that out, give it a press, and use my tape to hold it out of the way. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the other half of the bag. That's actually a really nice top stitch that it stitched there. Okay, so then we do the opposite side. So put your lining fabric on the back, your outer fabric in the hoop, and then stitch that seam line. And then you're going to flip that all out and finger press it, get it all nice and tight, and then you're going to stitch that tack down stitch for the seam line. I opened my zipper there, very important, and then I've got a little tack down for a little piece of ribbon so I can hook my keys through it. And then I'm placing the outer fabric in the hoop, and it's stitching my shape of my bag. And then lastly, on the back, I put my lining fabric, tape that into place. And then it's going to stitch and leave an opening. So that's going to allow us to turn our bag inside out. Okay, so back here at our station, we're going to cut, leaving about 1/4 inch. And then I do like to snip into my curves, and then I'm going to turn that all inside out. You're going to cut that stabilizer from behind your zipper, and then you can use your iron, tuck that in. I just use a little piece of fusible web to hold that closed. And I didn't even have to do any sewing, which is really nice, right? So give it a good press, open your zipper the rest of the way, turn it inside out, give it another good press, and you've got a cute little in the hoop zipper bag. So you can put your chapstick, you can put some earbuds in there, some change, a little bit of cash, and it's a really fun project. So make sure you download your free design. Now let's talk about more in the hoop projects. So the benefits of in the hoop projects is that they're perfect. The seams are perfect. You can do it any skill level, and you can make so many different things. You can also personalize them by adding monograms or adding embroidery designs to these in the hoop projects. Now, some of the best tools for customizing your project is an embroidery software program. Now, you could do this on your embroidery machine as well, but we use our Perfect Embroidery Professional software to create or either edit an in the hoop design and add customization. So this is a full featured embroidery digitizing software. It's really easy to learn, and we have lots of free education. You can do most anything in 3 clicks or less. You can create designs, you can edit designs that you already own. You can add from the hundreds of built-in fonts. You can add quilting fills. There's so many different things you can do. So, and Perfect Embroidery Pro does work with Windows and Mac. We have tons of online education, and we also offer free updates. So let me show you how to make a couple of these things. I'm going to show you how to edit and add to your free design, but also create that cute little in the hoop hanger for your kitchen towel. Okay, so let's start with our free design. So I'm inside of Perfect Embroidery Pro, and I can open up my free design here. Now, this design, if I stitch it as is, it's just the empty design or the blank design that we saw earlier. And then I can add customization. So I can add a monogram, beautiful built-in font options that I can choose from. That's a fun little multicolor one. Okay, you can add what would be a good thing to add for a circle. So a cookie looks like a circle, so we could add by drawing some little circles. We could add some little chocolate chips maybe to our little design here. And whenever I select all of those are just little artwork shapes, but if I right mouse click, I can convert those to a complex fill. So I can add some little chips onto my cookie. You could also do, turn this into a ball. So I'm going to delete those little chips there. I can also add maybe some laces to make it look like a baseball. Okay, so I'm going to choose my pen tool here, and I'm just going to click 3 times to make like this little arc here. And I can turn that into a motif stitch where it's a decorative looking stitch. And it just so happens that we have one that reminds me of baseball stitches. So if I make those red, wouldn't that be a cute little design? Now, when you're adding these, you want to make sure that they are going to stitch in the right order so that this stitches after you put down your top fabric and before you stitch on your backing. So I can ungroup my design here, and I can move my laces so that they then stitch after my top fabric is placed down. So if we watch that slow redraw, we can do our zipper, and then it's going to do our laces, and then that's going to be putting our back fabric on. So make sure that it's stitching in the right order. The other thing I want to point out is resizing your design. So when you resize a in the hoop design, you can resize it larger if you like, but you want the zipper to stay the same width. So if I select everything except the zipper, I can make that larger for a larger hoop. This does fit a 4x4 hoop because we wanted everybody to be able to do it. So if you want to make it bigger, you can resize it in our Perfect Embroidery Pro software, and then use your zipper. Instead of resizing it proportionately, I just want to stretch it longer so that I still have the same width. Because remember, we want this to fit our zipper, so I can make sure that everything's center there. And so now I have a larger in the hoop little zipper bag. Now, let me show you my cute little towel topper, and then it's about time for our break, okay? So now, a good, easy thing to do for your towel topper is to use a built-in shape. I can click and drag that shape and set the size that I want. So mine was a 5-inch towel topper, so I can set that to be 5 inches square. Now, I just turned that into an applique, and I added my text to it. So if I do a right mouse click, say convert to an applique. So now that is the rectangle that's going to make my cute little towel topper. And now we can add some text. Now for Christmas, I did merry and bright. And I left a little bit of space between them so I could put my alphabet in a different color. And I'm going to choose a little bit different text. So that text only has uppercase, so that's why it only you only saw those 2 letters. And then all of these different built-in text types here, I can click to choose from. And then I can make that larger by clicking and dragging. Now, I thought that would be fun to have a bunch of different colors to be very festive for the holidays. So what I did here was in my settings under my command options for the color change, I did change color between characters. Now, I can put in a variety of holiday colors and make that a really fun little project. And then for my text, I did a cursive for the word and, just so that it had a little bit of variation there. So I'll put that right in the center. Now this as an applique, I stitched this and I put a backing fabric on the back of my hoop, and I even added a buttonhole for the top there. So I just used this built-in rounded buttonhole. I click, I rotate, and then I can actually make that larger so that I could use a ribbon to tie that onto my towel of my stove, my handle of my stove. So that's a couple of very easy in the hoop projects, and we'll see more of that throughout the presentation today. So I just wanted to kind of give you a quick tour, but we do have tons of designs that you can buy as well, which we're going to talk about. So this is a great place to take a break and see if we have any questions. So Tammy, how's it going over there in the chat?
Busy, 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 but I love that, Ashley. We do have one question, Jerry. They wanted to know, are we Mac compatible?
Yes, we are. So our embroidery software, all of it will work on your Mac computer. You do need to install what we call the translator first. So install the translator, and then you can install our software just like normal. You don't have to purchase anything special for a Mac. And so the version of software that you purchase will work on either Windows or Mac. So if you change to a PC later, or maybe you have a PC desktop and a Mac laptop, that one software you can use on either Windows or Mac. So that's a really great question.
Well, another question is, they're asking about formats. Does it come in PES formats? So, but there's quite a difference, lots of formats, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So our embroidery software saves to all formats for all embroidery machines, no matter which brand you have. We can save to a format that will work for your machine. So if you've got Brother, Baby Lock, Viking, Pfaff, Bernina, Elna, Janome, if you have a commercial or a multi-needle machine, we can save to those formats as well. So no matter which brand you have, we have a format that will work. And all of the designs, Tammy, today that we have, you can also use all of those designs on any brand of embroidery machine as well.
That's right. And actually, Barbara just come over here and wants to know, for your towel topper, did you sew that to the towel?
I did not. I'll show the spring one because it's easier to see. The Marion Bright is black, so it's just harder to see. But the spring one, do you see how I have that little piece of elastic in the back? And so whenever I put my piece of fabric on the back, I just put a piece of elastic down and taped, and you can see that I just let my satin stitches stitch right over it. And then whenever it did that, then I've got that little elastic that I can just tuck my towel into. And by doing this, I don't have to have a different towel every time. So I can switch the towel out and have that same topper. So, but this is my one for my holiday. I love this for the holidays, and I love putting little monograms on the towels. Great gift set for the holidays. So good questions.
And then Susan, she wants to know, and I haven't clarified, but she says, can these projects be done with a free tool shed? But they can bring the projects into the free tool sheds,
Yeah.
but that editing that you do, can I use that?
Yeah, so any of the embroidery designs that we have that are available for purchase can be opened in the embroidery tool shed. But if you want to create designs from scratch, you cannot digitize in embroidery tool shed, the free version. So you will have to have my Perfect Embroidery Pro, and we do have some other programs too that allow you to create. But the embroidery tool shed that's free is really so that you can open, you can change colors, you can see your design stitch out on the screen with the slow redraw. But the free embroidery tool shed does not have the digitizing tools in order to create designs from scratch. But any of the designs that we have that are already created will open in the free tool shed.
All right, Ashley. Well, that's all the questions I have for you at this time. So I'm gonna let you get back to it, and we'll check with you a little bit later on.
Sounds great. Thank you, Tammy. All right, guys, we do have tons of free education on our software. So if you are thinking about purchasing any Dime software, we've got tons of available options for you. We have built-in in-app videos. If you hover over any of the icons, you'll see a little message that says press F2 for a video. When you do, a video will start to play. This is actually the slow redraw feature, which is in every Dime software. You can watch it stitch out right on the screen. I love this because I can see what my design's going to do before I ever even get to the embroidery machine. Now, also, if you visit our inspiredbydime.com webpage later when we're done with the event today, you'll see tons of free education options. If you click on the support and the community forum, it'll get you to this page. The first 4 options are free to you. So our Facebook user group called Dime Inspiration Software Users. If you'll join that group, you can ask all of our education team questions. We are over there answering questions as well as thousands of knowledgeable users. Okay, so it does have our Dime logo and software image. So make sure that you do join the right group, Dime Inspiration Software Users. Also, we have YouTube videos. Eileen has written a blog for years. And we also have a community forum that you can join and ask questions as well. The last 2 are paid options. We have PDF workbooks that you can purchase, and we also have a 30-minute private tutoring session that you can purchase 30 minutes for $30 to get a one-on-one lesson with one of our education team members on how to use your software. But the nice thing about purchasing at our event, you're going to get those 12 PDF tutorials for free with the purchase of the software, and you're going to get 2 private 30-minute lessons for Perfect Embroidery Pro. So this Perfect Embroidery Pro is our software that I'm using today. To everything that I'm showing you, I'm creating in there. Or like I said, the design collections, those are separate individual purchases that are ready to go. But Perfect Embroidery Pro is a great program to help you create all of your embroidery needs, not just in the hoop projects. And it comes with these 12 PDFs and 2 private tutoring sessions to help you get started. Now, no matter where you are, if you're in the US or out of the US, this is a download bundle. So when you purchase our Perfect Embroidery Pro software, it is sent to you via email, and you'll be able to download it, install it right away before the weekend even starts. And you could go back and watch this presentation and duplicate what we're talking about. So, okay. Okay, so now let's talk about stabilizers, zipper, and support materials for our projects that we're doing in the hoop. Now, a stabilizer, there's tons of different options, as you know, for stabilizer, and they all look a lot alike because it's really a bunch of white stuff. And so the stabilizer that you're going to use for your project, I would say first and foremost, so to choose the right stabilizer, if you have purchased a design that someone else created, then choose the stabilizer that they recommend. Okay. The creator of the design will tell you what stabilizer they recommend for the project. If you are creating your own designs, then here's some tips that I have for you. So, the options for In the Hoop project really are any of your stabilizers, but I like to choose the stabilizer based on the way that it's constructed and also how it's finished. And each one has a different benefit. So let me head over to my camera here. And look at all this stuff here. It all looks the same, right? And so you might be able to tell a little bit of difference. So this is what we call our no-show stabilizer. It's very soft. It's very lightweight. It is a cutaway stabilizer. And so it's going to stay in your project forever. Okay. So if I am doing something like an In the Hoop zipper bag, so like my cute little bag, your free one, and also this little bag here that I made with my quilt block. The stabilizer stays in forever, but this is so soft and lightweight. I would use the no-show stabilizer when I'm doing things like this. Or if you have something that has quilting on it, I would definitely use that no-show stabilizer. This is a cutaway stabilizer. Again, I cannot stress this enough. If you are purchasing a design that's already created, then your design instructions will tell you exactly which one to use. Okay. Now, this is also a cutaway, but look how stiff this is when I hold it. It's not drooping. It's not as soft. It's kind of stiff. I actually like to use this, and it's a cutaway, so I cannot tear it. I like to use this when I'm doing these In the Hoop notebook covers. Because these are stitched flat, you can see that my stitching is a run stitch and it's just raw edge. When I cut away, my stabilizer is cut exactly even with my outer material. So I generally will use this heavy cutaway to give me a little more stiffness to things like this notebook cover. Okay. And it's going to stay in there forever. And you can see that this notebook cover is lined. And so it's going to be completely covered. Okay. So I like to use that in that instance. Now, a water soluble stabilizer like this, you can see that this is clear. This is what we call our heavy duty water soluble. We use it for patches, but it is great for any of your projects like those little towel toppers that have that satin edge. So those are great for that. And then also take a look at this. I created this little In the Hoop glasses case, and look at the difference here. So I'm going to pull it up really close to the camera and hopefully you can see. See how those little white fuzzies? That is my tear away stabilizer sticking through the stitches. Now you could, put up some pink marker on that to try to hide it. But what I like to do is look at the edge of this one. Look how clean and beautiful that is. That is done. If you have a In the Hoop project that's all satin stitches like this, you can see front and back. We match the bobbin thread to the top thread color so that it looks the same top and bottom. Then I would use this heavy duty water soluble stabilizer. So this is it looks like plastic. You stitch through it, and when you rip it away, because it's transparent, you don't see those little white fuzzy edges. Okay. So I really love that for In the Hoop projects there. Now, if you are working with something like this here, if you're working with something like this mesh in those so visible bags from Embroidery Gardens, then a woven water soluble will work well for this because I have stitched my embroidery on the front of this, so I need a little more stability. So this is a water soluble, but it is a woven water soluble, so it's much more sturdy than my plastic water soluble. It's not really plastic, it's a water soluble stabilizer, but it has the plastic texture. And so then I'm going to use that. So use your stabilizer based on what the digitizer tells you to do. But if you're creating your own, there are some tips there, and you might be able to mix and match. If your designer tells you, you know, to use one thing and you think it will work best with something else, you certainly could switch and give it a try if you want. So, okay. So, oh, I meant to show you this while I was under the camera with that little, the mesh here. So let me show you a hooping tip on that mesh, because to stitch on that is not exactly the easiest thing. So Dime has a hoop called sticky hoop. Okay, so sticky hoop is a flat metal hoop that we put adhesive stabilizer on the back. Okay, we have pre-cut pieces of stabilizer that you can just peel and stick. So talk about saving time, just like AccuQuilt. We like to save you time where we can too. Okay, so this stabilizer here is a water soluble adhesive stabilizer. So now this is adhesive. So whenever I'm stitching on something like this mesh that is in my in the hoop bag, I had to monogram this first on my little bag here, so you can see the little letter. And because I had to monogram it first, I had to stitch on this mesh all by itself. Now, here's another embroidery tip, not just for in the hoop, but just embroidery in general. So because this mesh is so open, my satin stitches would have fallen in between all of that mesh. So I put a set of foundation stitches behind that letter so that I could, you know, I would be 100% sure that my satin stitches were not going to fall into the little holes in my mesh. Okay. So that is Dime's sticky hoop. This does attach to your embroidery machine the same way your standard hoop attaches. And it's great for things like this if you're stitching on this mesh. It's also great for cork, things that you know you need to stick to that are hard to hoop. But Dime also has a magnetic hoop. So if you're not familiar with Dime's magnetic hoop, it's a magnet top and a metal base, and it holds your fabric in between. So here's like a little piece of fabric where I have batting, and I had to do a quilting design on it. And it's really easy to put our magnet in place, and it's going to hold this while I do that embroidery. I love these for, you know, when we're doing thicker items, when we've got like our batting and our quilt sandwich in the hoop. The Snap Hoop Monster magnetic hoop makes it easier. Okay, so Dime has two different types of hoops. So when you're take a look down below, then make sure you're getting the right one. So we've got sticky hoop, which is the flat metal hoop. You're going to use it with adhesive stabilizer, and we do have pre-cuts for that size. And then we have our magnetic hoop as well. And the magnetic hoop, whenever you're doing any of your regular embroidery and putting things in the hoop, it's perfect for. They all fit your embroidery machine just like your standard hoops do. These slide right into the attachment. So you have to choose the hoop that fits your machine. So make sure you select it from the drop down list to make sure you're choosing the right one. Here's another really fun in the hoop project that's fantastic for the sticky hoop. This cute little pet bandana. You stitch right on the edge of it and then you turn it inside out. So it stitches the V for you. And to do that, we need to stitch right to the edge. So having that sticky hoop is a really great example of that. So anytime you need adhesive stabilizer, sticky hoop is the hoop for you. And our Snap Hoop Monster that I also showed you is a magnetic hoop. And you can use this not just for in the hoop, but any embroidery project. It makes it really easy to hoop with the magnet, especially if you have achy hands and it's hard to tighten that screw, then the Snap Hoop Monster is a great option. Okay, so when you're choosing your sticky hoop or your Snap Hoop Monster, either one, make sure you click the view product button underneath the brand of your embroidery machine. That's very important to make sure that you've got the right brand selected. And then from the drop down list, you'll need to choose the size and just double check there that it does work for your embroidery machine. We have lots of different sizes. We work with a lot of different brands and models, so just make sure you're choosing the correct one. And make sure you use your discount codes. So those are listed right above the shopping area, and it's also scrolling across the video. Okay, so now I talked to you about the stitch swag because I had made a few of these projects to show you. So if you like the idea of just purchasing a design collection and you don't want to create your own, then you can purchase any of the stitch swag collections. We've got, let me back up here. These are the nifty notebooks that I used, or the snazzy snap cover that you saw, but we also have another notebook collection called Nifty Notebooks that actually has some different designs on them. The smartphone wallet is the one where you can make a wallet as well. And then this is just like a little bonus here, since we always are using stabilizer in all of our embroidery projects. We have these really cool little dispensers. You put your roll of stabilizer in there, and then you can pull out the amount you need. And there's a slide cutter to cut, so you don't have to search for your scissors. So it comes in a 12-inch or a 20-inch size. So it'll fit, you can put a roll that's 12 or less in the 12-inch one, and a roll that's 20 or less in the 20-inch sable cut dispenser. So check those out. That's a nice little bonus there. Okay, so I don't know if some of you guys have already asked this, but we get this question a lot, so I wanted to share it. And it's the needle. So somebody will generally ask, what needle do I use for these in the hoop projects? Well, you're going to choose your needle based on which type of fabric you're stitching on. So if you're using a stretchy type fabric, then you're going to use a ballpoint embroidery needle or a light ballpoint embroidery needle. But most of the things we're going to make for an in the hoop project, we are doing a woven fabric, whether it's either our quilting cotton or canvas type fabrics, or maybe we're doing a denser fabric like cork or something like faux leather. And we recommend a sharp point embroidery needle anytime you're using a fabric that is tightly woven. Okay, so take advantage of those. Those are embroidery needles. These are sharp point embroidery needles for your tightly woven fabrics. Okay, so we have the needle sampler that has both light ballpoint and sharps, and then we have a sharp only package as well. So take a look at that below the presentation to make sure you're using the right needle, but choose the needle based on the project that you're working on. So okay, so now before we go to our break, this is a great time to do a break. Let me head back over to our software here, and I want to show you how you can add a monogram to an in the hoop project. So remember, there are design collections below that you can purchase that are ready to go. They're ready to be embroidered, and so I was going to show you, if you want to add a design to a zipper bag, then you can certainly do that as well. So I'm just going here. So let me get my zipper bag design. So now these projects here, you can see that it's all run stitches because it actually pieces and seams your design together. Now, this particular one is the one that has the mesh in the front so that we can see through it. So I want to show you what I did with my text here. So I'm going to choose my text tool and click to add my text on the workspace. And then I'm going to choose a little bit different letter here. So, oh, that's a pretty one. And so I love a fancy script. Okay, so we have tons of built-in font, but look how little those little satin stitches are. If I were to stitch that on that mesh fabric, then my satin stitches in these tiny areas would sometimes be stitching where there is no fabric. Okay, so if I select my design and do a right mouse click, under utility, choose create nap blocker. And I'm going to leave it the default density, and look at that. It added those fill stitches behind, okay? And you're going to stitch those fill stitches. It's a loosely dense fill stitching, and it makes a foundation for your design to stitch on when you're stitching on like a mesh fabric. It's also great when you're stitching on something that's a nap, so it'll tack that nap down so that your monogram or your letters or your embroidery is the focus. So so here in this So Visible bag, I had to stitch that separate. So I just made sure that it would fit here in my bag area, and then I can add that to the actual fabric, and then the fabric I use to assemble the bag. So that is called our nap blocker in Perfect Embroidery Pro. It is fantastic for nappy fabrics, but also great if you're stitching on a fabric that is a loose weave like that, or something that is open stitching, so that you can have a nice foundation on it. So okay, so I was looking here, so let me grab my my bag example. So from the zipper bag set from Embroidery Gardens, you get a ton of different sizes. Okay, so that bag set comes with bags that fit in a 4x4 hoop, a 5x7 hoop, a 6x10, 6x6 design size, 7x12, 7x7, 8x12. I mean, there's just so many different sizes here. 8x8, 9.5x14, and you can even make a 9.5 by 9.5 too. So a 9.5 by 14, that's a big bag, right, in the hoop. I'm just going to go back and choose like the 5x7 here. And here is the bag design. Now I'm going to rotate it just so we can see it. Now you get a set of bags in that collection that are plain, so we can add embroidery if we want, or we can use the built-in design that has stippling on it. So I wanted to show you that with Dime's software, you can actually add custom quilting. So if I choose my rectangle tool here, I can click and drag in this lower area, and then select that. Again, I'm going to do a right mouse click and then say convert to, and I'm going to choose complex fill, or actually let's go over here. This will be quicker. So if I go to my effects panel, I can fill that with a motif stitch, which looks like a quilting stitch. And then I can increase this number so that it's more open, and I can choose from all of these built-in custom designs to make some really cool quilting design on the front of my bag. Okay. Now, if you do this, you do need to make sure that your quilting stitches in the right place. Now, all of Embroidery Gardens designs, they actually give you the instructions and tell you exactly where to place the quilting. And I can just click and drag, and that's going to put it, and I can put it right where I need it. So if we watch this stitch out, we've got our zipper placement, and then it's going to tack down our front piece and then do that quilting that we just added. Okay, so we can add custom quilting, we can add monograms with our Perfect Embroidery Pro. There's just, you know, so many different things that you can do with your Perfect Embroidery Pro software. So, and adding that nap blocker behind my stitch was really helpful when I was stitching on that mesh fabric as well. So, okay, so I think that's a great place to stop and take our break. Next, we're going to be talking about how important pressing is when it comes to In the Hoop. So stay tuned for that. But Tammy, how's it going? Do we have any questions or comments over there?
Well, actually, maybe you can help me with this one. I was getting ready to type it up. We have someone over here that says, you know, they have purchased PEP software 4 computers ago. And she says she's been having to keep those 2 computers for the software because she is unable to activate on her new computer. So I thought maybe we could just talk to them about how that can be done.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And actually, that's a great example for everyone out there, even if you're just buying it today. So when you install Perfect Embroidery Pro on your computer, you get 2 activations with 1 serial number. So when you install it and you activate it on your computer, if you want to put it on a laptop or a desktop as your second copy, contact our customer service and they'll give you another activation. If you ever have that computer where you're ready to upgrade it, or you want to move it to a different computer, you can unregister, which will free up your serial number on your old computer, and then that will allow you to install it on your new computer. So if you go into, I think it's your help and activation in the software, and then you can do unregister at the very bottom corner. There's a little button that says unregister, and that will free up your serial number, and then you can go to the new computer and install it. If your computer dies and you cannot get to your software anymore, then contact customer service. They can help get it installed on your new computer as well. So, but just unregister to install it on another computer, but you can have it on 2 computers at any one time. So really great question.
Yes. Well, speaking of different products and stuff, you know, those sticky hoops that you were talking about, and this is a question we get asked quite a bit. Do you clean the back of them?
I don't. And so you saw mine in the video that it's a mess. Like, it's got all that residue on the back. So the sticky hoop, the one that we were using with the adhesive stabilizer, you can see all that leftover stuff on mine. This is the only thing that you're going to use this hoop for, is adhesive stabilizer. So I just put the next piece right on top of it, and it does not affect the hold of it. And certainly if it really bothers you and you want to clean it, you can try maybe some rubbing alcohol, something like that. I would be very careful with the adhesive dissolvers because some of them are really greasy. And if you don't get all of that off of your back of your hoop, then your stabilizer might not attach very well. So if you use one of those adhesive dissolvers that are a little greasy, make sure that you get all of that grease off of the back of your hoop, or that oily texture. But really, Tammy, I don't even bother cleaning it. That's the only thing that hoop is used for, is adhesive stabilizer. So when I remove one piece, then another piece is generally going on, and then I put it right over whatever's left, and it holds just fine.
And I totally agree with you, Ashley.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I do. Now, the other question, you know, it's on the line of those sticky hoops. We did have some we had a multi needle user over here. They want to know, why is there not a sticky hoop for their machine?
Yeah, that's a really great question as well. And so it's because let me back up a little bit. So on the magnetic hoops, these magnetic hoops have special suede strips on the back so that it does not scar your machine as it's moving across the bed of the machine. So this hoop, our magnetic hoop, you don't want to put the adhesive stabilizer on the back because it would ruin those strips. Okay. So we came out with sticky hoop because it has no suede strips on the back. And so you can put the sticky stabilizer right to the back of it. On your multi-needle embroidery machines, those do not have a bed. You just have the neck of your machine, and the arms kind of keep the hoop a little bit raised above the neck even. And so the back of your magnetic hoop for the multi-needle embroidery machines has no suede on them. So you can use the sticky stabilizer right on the back of your magnetic hoop. So that's one of the main reasons why we don't have it for the multi-needle. But great question as well. So, all right, Tammy, anything else before we get back to the presentation?
I think that's all I have for you at this time. So I will let you get back to it, and we'll see you at the end of the presentation.
Sounds great. Well, thank you so much for your help. Okay, so let's talk about how important pressing is to doing those in the hoop projects, especially when you're working with your quilting cotton. Okay, so when you are working with your quilting cotton, a lot of times to get the most professional looking bag when you're done, you want to press as you go so that your end result is beautiful. Okay, and now there's a challenge when you're pressing in the hoop. You don't want to accidentally loosen your stabilizer in the hoop. And so let me show you exactly what I mean over here. Okay. So we're going to talk about that tape in a minute. So I've got one that's started so that you can see what it looks like. And you can see that there's only thing that's in my hoop is stabilizer. And then I have stitched my zipper placement and tacked down. And then I put my fabric, the top fabric, and I fold that out. And then when I go to the back, I need to fold my lining fabric back as well. Now here I would recommend pressing at this point, or using like a seam roller or something like that, or a wooden press tool would be another good example. But when you're pressing against your back of your stabilizer, you don't want to press and dislodge the stabilizer. Okay. So this is one of my favorite in the hoop tools. It's called Hoop and Press Pad. It's going to help you with the pressing in the hoop. It's got a non-skid surface on the back, and the hoop, the pad is designed to fit exactly in the interior of your hoop, so that when you flip this over and you're pressing against the back to get a really nice crisp seam, you don't risk dislodging your stabilizer. So that's very important. And it also is good not just for pressing, but the part where you're taping. Okay. So in the hoop projects, most often the lining is what goes on the back. And so when we're working with the zipper, we put our right sides down and overlapping the zipper, and we're going to get a seam line that stitches, and then we'll flip it out. Okay. But before we do all that, we need to attach it, and then we've got to tape that into place. Okay. Now here's the tape that we recommend. We don't sell this because it's just something you can get from your regular pharmacy. It's called 3M Transport medical tape. Okay. The reason we like this, it's recommended by Reen Wilcoxon because it does not curl up on the back of your hoop and cause issues. It's very easy to tear because it's got these little perforations everywhere, and it's pretty adhesive, so I can reuse those pieces over and over. Okay. So when I flip to the front, our outer fabric again goes right sides over our zipper, just like that. And then you'll just use a couple of little pieces of tape to hold that into place while you are doing the stitching. So then it's going to stitch that that seam, and once it's all done, you'll flip that out and it'll look something like that, but it'll look better because it's stitched. So that's how it puts in the zipper. But make sure that you have something like the hoop and press pads so that it prevents you from dislodging your stabilizer when you're working from the back of your hoop. So we have these in all sizes to fit a variety of different hoop sizes, because notice it does have to fit in the interior of your hoop there to make sure that you're gonna not dislodge your stabilizer. So, and the tape that we really like is this 3M Transport medical tape. You can get it at your local pharmacy, big box store, wherever you'd like. And here's just a little extra tip. I love fussy cutting my fabric. And so, like, let's say we really want this rotary cutter and maybe these scissors to show up in the bottom part. Because my stabilizer here is kind of sheer, I can actually position that to see exactly where I want it. And then I know, kind of gives me an idea of where to cut my piece of fabric. So it looks like I can't get the rotary cutter and the scissors, but I can do one or the other. So, but that's just a little tip whenever you want a certain part of your fabric to show, and make sure that you're putting that correct, so that when you flip it down, it is the right orientation. So fabric that is a directional print or a nap, make sure you're putting it in the right order or the right direction on your item. So, okay. And then one last tip here on once it's all stitched, it'll look like this. And then here's a little tip, all these frayed edges, because I've worked with it so much. I clipped my curves, but then notice here I left these two pieces longer of the lining. That just makes it easier to turn in and close up that opening. But also look how I trimmed away the batting out of the seam. That'll just, reduce the bulk in your seam. And then when you're turning, start with one of the furthest corners and then, flip that through. So I usually put my thumb in and my pointer finger, and then I just poke my pointer finger through, and then I can pull that right side out. And, your instructions will tell you all this, so don't feel like you have to remember it, but I just wanted to give you that that tip there. And when you turn it inside out, make sure your corners are all poked out really nicely. You can either close that opening with, you can hand stitch it if you want, or I use just a little fusible web. We have our Fuse Me fusible web that I'll use to close that up. And just make sure all your corners are poked out before you do that. Just like that. And then your zipper will be open, you know, partially, and then you can stick your hand in there, open it the rest of the way so that you can turn your bag right side out. So, and it's all stitched in the hoop. The only thing I have to do when I'm done is close that opening. So that's pretty neat, right? Look at that. Adorable. So I just love that. Okay, so just a few little tips there. So get your hoop and press pads. These are great, not just for in the hoop pressing, but they're also great for if you're taping and also other things as well. So pressing leads to a more professional looking project when you are all finished. So press as you go. That's very important. But take a look at this special message from Ring Wilcox, and she's got lots of uses for these hoop and press pads. So take a look at this video.
Hi, everyone. I am so excited to be part of this In the Hoop event with Designs and Machine Embroidery. I've been designing and stitching in the hoop projects for almost 2 decades. I love how you can create a dimensional project right in the hoop of your embroidery machine, like a purse, a bag, or a wallet, and get consistent results. Dime is a leader and innovator in our industry, and I've been happy to collaborate with Eileen and her staff on several projects. I have 2 floral collections out with Dime. One is a garden flower lace set, and the other is a hand-sketched raw edge applique set. Both are just stunning. More recently, we've developed my In the Hoop press pads. You'll learn more about those a little bit later on in this presentation. A few other items that I love to use from Dime when I'm stitching in the hoop projects include their exquisite no-show cutaway stabilizer, which I use a lot of, the totally tubular pressing station, which I like to use to press my finished bags to add a bit of dimension to them. And more recently, I've been using their Sew Any Shape foam to add structure and stability to some of my bags. So thanks for joining us at this event today.
Okay, so, and she said we're going to see a little bit later, but actually I already showed you. I got ahead of the game there. But those hoop and press pads are great for anytime you're working from the back of the hoop and you don't want to put too much pressure on your stabilizer, because then when you put it back on the machine, everything doesn't line up. So make sure that you are being very gentle and using your hoop and press pads. So, okay, so now that we've seen these different projects, let's talk zippers, because this is something that we get questions on a lot, is about the different zippers. So what type of zipper do we use? A separating, a metal, a nylon, what size, a 3, a 5. So let's talk zippers, and let me give you some tips here. Okay, so zippers, the measurement of the zipper will be given to you in your instructions, or if you're creating your own in the hoop designs, make sure you choose a zipper that's long enough so that the metal stop and the zipper pull are out of the way of your design. And if you're purchasing designs, they'll tell you exactly what size zipper to get. Okay. Now, if you have a zipper at home and you're wondering what size it is, well, you want to measure the distance between the top stop and the bottom stop. That is what is considered the length of your zipper. So if it's saying 12 inches or larger zipper, make sure that you're measuring between the stops and not the entire tape itself. And zippers come in different sizes. 2 common sizes that we use in embroidery projects are a number 3 and a number 5 zipper. So the number 3 zipper is the teeth of the zipper are smaller. And so the number 5 zipper, the teeth of the zipper are a little bit larger. Okay. So when you're looking at your zipper and you want to know what size it is, Sometimes you can look on the back of the slide of the zipper and it will tell you what size zipper that you have. So that is something to know if you don't have the packaging anymore. Now, the orientation of the zipper pull can be placed either direction. If you have a lefty and you want to the zipper pull to pull from the right to the left, you can put your zipper that way. If you have a right-handed person, your zipper should pull from left to right. So, and if you forget, it's not that big of a deal. We all know how to work a zipper, but just a little tip there. So, and if your instructions call for a number 5, can you substitute a number 3 and vice versa? Well, if you have never done in the hoop projects before, I would say first and foremost, use the zipper size that is recommended. If you are a seasoned embroiderer and you know how to check, I would just do a little test, okay? Because since the number 5 zipper teeth are actually wider, and when you place that down, you don't want the foot to be too close to the zipper teeth when it tacks down your zipper. So you can advance through your design and check to see if it's going to clear those zipper teeth and use a wider zipper if it will. So, but if you're concerned, just use the size zipper that the creator of the design recommended using. Okay. And then the type of zipper makes a huge difference. So you want to use a zipper that is a nylon zipper so we can stitch over the zipper teeth. Don't use a metal zipper. Now, one of my bags looked like metal, but it was really nylon. You can get those metal looking zippers, but they're really nylon that you can stitch over. But you don't want to use metal teeth in the hoop because you do have to stitch over the zipper and it may hit and break a needle. And then also invisible zippers are not normally recommended for in the hoop projects. Now you may have a specialty one that it calls for it, but if it just refers to a zipper, you're just using your regular zipper that is not invisible and not metal teeth. So just a couple little tips there. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to share before we go, we'll answer one more questions here in just a moment, but I do want to share with you, not only do we have our Perfect Embroidery Pro, where you can certainly create and edit your embroidery designs, but we also have some design collections and bundles for you that you can purchase, and these are all ready to go. So these bundles are from Embroidery Gardens that includes a ton of in the hoop projects. Okay, so the first one is the let me back up here. So the first bundle that I'm going to talk about is the mini bundle, and the mini bundle includes the So Visible square bag set. This bag set has 4 different sizes, and it'll fit from a 4x4 hoop all the way up to a 10.5 by 16 hoop. And look how cute those are. That's the one I put the monogram over the mesh, but you can also use clear plastic instead of a mesh as well. Also in that set is called the In the Hoop zipper cases, and it also comes with a coordinating pin cushion, which I think is a really great gift set. This works with a 6x10 or an 8x12 hoop. And also this has in this bundle the armchair caddy set. And yes, that's all created in the hoop. It may require maybe a couple of hoopings, but it's all done with your embroidery machine. And that does require a 6x10 hoop. Okay, so that was the Embroidery Gardens mini bundle. If you forget what all I said was in there, then it shows it down below if you click the view product button, but it includes 3 different in the hoop collections: the armchair caddy, the in the hoop scissor case and pin cushion, and the So Visible square bags. We also give you in this bundle light no-show stabilizer and an exquisite thread quartet so that you'll have the right stabilizer needed for those projects. So when you are adding this to the cart, make sure that you choose your color quartet from the drop-down list of which color you want. It's just a nice bonus. Some of our exquisite thread, which we happen to love. Okay, so we also have the Embroidery Garden collection for a little bit larger hoops. This collection or this bundle includes the zipper bag set, and this bag set has 11 different zipper bags in this one set. So you get you get bags that will fit from a 4-inch all the way up to 9-inch in square and rectangle, and then you get a plain one, and then you get a quilted one. So there's tons of bags in this one set. Now, here's a little tip for all you quilters out there. And since we love our AccuQuilt cutting system, this zipper bag that I made, I used one of my quilt blocks as the front fabric. And I just determined the size I needed below and the size I needed above the zipper. And I cut my block based on that. I split my block, and you can see that I just separated it. And I used it for the fabric above the zipper and the fabric below, but it turned out so cute. It looks like one of those window pane designs with that split zipper. So you can use your quilt blocks that maybe you've put together with your either your sewing machine or your AccuQuilt cutter that you've cut those pieces on. So okay, so that is the zipper bag set. This is also the bag set that's great for those candy wrapper bags, but you can use your quilting cotton as well. Also in that bundle, you get the boxy bag set. This includes 8 different designs that have different size gift bags and fabric baskets and even a wine bottle holder, all done in the hoop. Isn't that cool? And the USB case is in this kit as well. The USB case needs an 8x12 hoop, so just make sure you're aware of the hoop sizes needed. So that's the mega bundle. The mega bundle includes the In the Hoop zipper bag set, which has a ton of different zipper bag sizes, the boxy bag set, and the In the Hoop USB case. We give you the light no-show stabilizer that you'll need for that bag again, and then also a color play thread kit. The color play thread kit, make sure you use the drop-down list to select the color that you want. We do have a ton of different color options. Color play comes with 1 variegated thread and 4 coordinating solid colors. So make sure you click the drop down, choose your color that you want for your mega bundle. And then lastly here, we've got the Embroidery Gardens massive bundle, which includes the So Visible bag set. It actually includes all of them. All of the design collections are included in the massive bundle from Embroidery Gardens. So that gets you every design collection that I've shown so far for the projects. It also includes the stabilizer that you're going to need and a color play thread kit. So make sure you choose that as well. Okay. So the massive bundle gives you all of the projects, and then you can choose between the mini or the mega bundle if maybe the you don't have that largest hoop for the mega items. So take a look at those, read the description below to make sure that you're getting the right set. But those collections do not need software. They're ready to go. You can buy a bundle and start stitching in the hoop projects. Okay, so we are all out of time, but let's make one last little minute or two to answer any questions that we might have. So Tammy, anything that we need to talk about?
Well, I just, we keep getting asked, is the discount good until Sunday as well?
Yes. And so you can rewatch this presentation all the way through Sunday evening and take advantage of the special prices all through the weekend as well. So make sure you use your original link. It'll get you right back to this page, and then you can rewatch the presentation and you can still take advantage of all the specially priced items. And remember, if you get over $250, use your discount code, because then you'll get an additional 10% off of everything in your shopping cart. So that's a really great deal for the event. So good question.
Well, Ashley, I'm going to ask you this question because I keep getting it over here, and I'm going to probably get it on the replay. Everyone wants to know where they get the towel topper, but that is not a design. That is one that you created, correct?
Right. Yeah. The towel topper is a design that I created in my Perfect Embroidery Pro software with just a rectangle, and I added text. I added the elastic on the back as it was stitching my final satin stitch. I added backing fabric and the elastic at the same time so that I could tuck my towel through there. So yeah, it was a design design that I created just using my software program. So if you have a program, you might be able to create something similar, and maybe even you could do it in your machines. Our machines are super intelligent these days.
All right, Ashley, that's all I have for you. I'm going to thank everyone for being over here with me. And Ashley, thanks for having me over here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I couldn't have done it without you, Tammy, because I bet that was busy. So thank you so much for answering everyone's question and taking great care of them. And I want to give another shout out to AccuQuilt for hosting this event. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for them and sharing their fans and followers with us so that we could share our love of embroidery with all of you. So until we have another event with Dime and AccuQuilt, we'll say bye for now and thank you all for coming.